Hi, everybody. It's Pastor Lillard from Emmanuel. This is the beginning of Holy Week. It starts at Palm Sunday, and you're going to hear quite a bit about Maundy, Thursday from Pastor Rick, my colleague, after my deal here and talking about Maundy, Thursday, which is part of the entire sequential part, the Last Supper. But then I'm going to cover Good Friday. So we have Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. And on Good Friday, we say Good Friday, ironically, because Jesus died for our sins, and that's good. It certainly was bad for Jesus, and we thank him dearly for his sacrifice. But we gather on Thursday to worship. We gather on Friday to worship and give thanks for Jesus being willing to get on the cross and stay on the cross and die for our sins. And then on Sunday, I'm going to share with you in my sermon, the greatest news of all is that he is risen, but also the even better news is that he shares his victory over death with us. And so it is the culmination that begins in Genesis and goes all the way to the book of Revelation, is that God always gives us what we need and loves us beyond our worth and certainly our merit and sometimes beyond our belief, but it's still true. So Thursday, Friday, Sunday, we come and worship and we come and give thanks and consider what it is to be a child of the resurrection. So see you in worship. In the meantime, be well. God bless.
As part of our Lectionary Plus for this Holy Week, the question is, what text would I choose? The texts for Maundy, Thursday, Good Friday, or Easter Sunday? I want to thank Pastor Lillard for that devotion. I'm going to focus in on Maundy, Thursday for the text, John 13, 1-17. It's this wonderful story about, the Last Supper and Jesus washing the feet of the disciples. Again, John 13, 1-17. And it's such a fascinating text. One of the arguments, by the way, in John is that it's not really the Seder. It's not the Passover meal. Some say yes, some say no. Take a look at the text. It says, before the Passover, Jesus sat down with his disciples. It also seems to be more of a Roman-style meal. In other words, the disciples aren't just sitting at the table on chairs or on pillows, as we often see in our movie version, but they're reclining almost in each other's laps. This was like we might watch TV or a game or something like that at home, kind of leaning on the couch. Well, that's the type of posture that they have, which changes the story, of course, because then we see Judas not just sitting next to Jesus, but actually reclining. They're almost on each other's laps. That's the closeness. It also deepens the sense of betrayal. The person that you're reclining with at dinner is the one you kiss in the garden and you betray. There are many aspects of this story, of course, where Jesus goes to Peter and demands that he wash his feet. That's the slave's work to do. And of course, Peter recoils and says, no, that's a slave's job. You're my rabbi, you're my teacher, you're the Christ, you're the Messiah. No. And then Jesus comes back and says, then you can have no part of me. And then Peter says, well, then wash all of me. It's beautiful. But one other detail I'd like to lift up as you read through the story in preparation for Maundy, Thursday, is that Jesus is recognized in this text that God has given him all power into his hands. It says that all things now have been placed into his hands. All power has been placed into his hands. And what will he do with his hands? He washes the disciples' feet. It's a beautiful way that the story is told, which is why we call Maundy, Thursday, because Jesus gives us instructions, a mandate, so to speak, a commission to wash each other's feet. And so that's what Maundy stands for, Maundy, Thursday, is that we've been commissioned to do exactly for other people what Jesus has done for us, to serve us. All the services this weekend are about serving, washing the feet, giving bread and wine, dying for us, and then rising on our account. So enjoy the Triduum, all three services this weekend. But as you go through each of the services, think about Jesus washing our feet. as a theme that runs through all of them. So thanks for joining us for this Lectionary Plus. Bye-bye now.